Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning to those of you in the West Coast of the US and Canada. Good afternoon and evening to those of you in the rest of the world. It's really wonderful to be with you again for our daily meditations. It's nice to get into this rhythm of sitting together, seeing each other, and feeling the support from everyone around the world. It really is a beautiful thing. And I speak with Martin Aylward, my colleague, on a daily basis about how gratifying it is for us to be able to do this and to feel this kind of mutual support from the Sangha around the world. So I thank you so much for your presence, for your warm greetings as you arrive here in the Dharma Hall, the virtual Dharma Hall. And so yeah, again, thank you for being with us. My name is Amy Jacob, for those of you who are just joining for the first time today, and I am the co-founder of Sangha Live along with Martin Aylward. And if you're not aware of the Sangha Live platform, we've existed in various incarnations for about 5 years now, and we have been offering in those 5 years a weekly Sunday freely offered Dharma class. So we have a very rich library of recordings from past classes if you'd like to take a look at any of those. And our teacher from today, Caverly Morgan, has given many of those sessions as well. So you can look up her recordings in the Dharma library on the Sangha Live website. And the way that we offer these classes, both the Sunday classes and these daily meditations, is through a system of mutual support known as dana. So it's a way of offering a donation to support us to continue doing what we do with this platform. So support comes in many ways. Just you showing up here is a support to this Sangha, to this community, to be able to sense all of you out there, to feel your presence and to know that that you're there sitting with us is a really valuable support in and of itself. And I know it's not possible for all of you to be able to donate. The crisis that we're living through right now has a serious economic impact. So we realize that it won't be possible for everyone to donate. But if you do have the means, and if you do find these sessions of benefit, we do encourage and invite you to offer a donation by clicking on the green button just beneath the video window here. And your practical financial support not only helps us continue doing what we're doing, but it also supports those of us who can't afford to donate, to be able to be welcome and to sit alongside the rest of us. So thank you very much in advance for all of the support so far and the support that you're offering today. And I'd love to welcome Caverly Morgan. I'll bring her on in just a moment. For those of you who aren't familiar with Caverly, she's the founding and guiding teacher of Peace in Schools, which is just an amazing organization that's bringing mindfulness teachings into public high schools in the US. And she's also the founding and guiding teacher of Presence Collective. And if you'd like to know more about these amazing initiatives that she's guiding, you can find more at her website, caverlymorgan.org. And with that, let me bring Caverly on the screen. Welcome, Caverly. So great to be with you. Thanks
Just
again.
Always glad to see you. Thank you.
And I'll turn the rest of the session over to you.
Okay, thanks. I love that person. And I'm really happy to be here. I've been having a really fun, playful time with my conditioned narrative about myself that I'm not a morning person. So when I first was invited to do this, I joked with Jake. I said, teaching at 8 a.m. is not my time to shine. But I will say, I've actually had I've had a lot of lightness and a sense of humor about the degree to which it does take willingness for me to find it in myself to want to be engaged in this way at this hour. And I always love it. Literally, the minute these sessions start, I feel connected to everyone that I'm seeing a hello from. Thanks for writing in that sidebar. And I do believe that now, more than before, now based on where we are, it's critical that we're reminding ourselves that we're taking in doses of a recognition that we're in this together. And being on these calls with you is a reminder of that for me. And I hope it is for you as well. I would love to begin this morning in the name of being together and bringing our voices, if you will. There are too many folks on this call, which is a good thing, right? There's so many of us that want to just be together, practicing together. But I won't have time to hear from each of you. But say a little something in the chat, if you would, about what's alive for you in this moment, what you're present to right now. There is no wrong answer, but it lets others on the call get a sense of how you're doing, where you are. And I think that would be the place to put it, just right in the sidebar there. Someone's present to recovery, gratitude, joy at being back here. Thank you. Morning feels like a fresh start. That's an important experience, isn't it? Okay, here we are again. Appreciating flowers and noticing the new ones. Thank you. These are cut from our garden yesterday. Health, agitation, curiosity, space, balancing my cat, gratitude for the new day, connections, working with feeling grumpy and tired. Yeah, feeling overwhelmed with learning to teach online. Yeah. Peaceful, grateful, this community. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yes, uncertainty. You know, Joyce, thanks for writing the word uncertainty. I heard myself acknowledging something in our Wednesday night Sangha group last night that I think I'll begin with. It was about uncertainty. And I was speaking about how it's really the uncertainty that produces the discomfort during this time. We might be conditioned to think, oh, I resist change, or I'm afraid of change, but none of us would be afraid of the change of our boss coming to us today and saying, I'm going to create a change in your pay structure. I'm giving you a major bonus and a raise. It's the uncertainty that we struggle with. So I would like to focus on that a bit today. We've been speaking about the importance of paying attention to how we direct our attention on these calls. And I want to continue with that theme of directing the attention and uncertainty. And I'll do that through this guided meditation. Thank you again. I'm reading these sidebars. Thank you for your chiming in. Great. So finding that seat of dignity in this virtual Dharma hall. Coming into the position that works best for you. We'll sit for half an hour and then we'll have an opportunity to chat. Let's begin this meditation by taking 3 of the longest and deepest inhalations and exhalations you've taken yet today. I acknowledge that for some of you it's the end of your day. For most of you it's the beginning of your day. If it's nearing the end of your day, just releasing the day through this deep breathing. If it's the beginning of the day, breathing in the freshness of, as someone mentioned, starting anew. Focusing on the way in which the exhalations are the releasing gestures of last night or the day. So paying particular attention to the releasing. Given that I'd like to focus on uncertainty, I want to suggest that when focusing on uncertainty, we can begin by grounding into our direct experience of our own preciousness. I want to read a little something that I wrote recently and put on Instagram. We cannot control what happens. We can affect that we treat ourselves and each other with care, as if precious, because we are infinite, unbreakable, and precious, all at the same time. So uncertainty is particularly scary for us when we feel breakable. Uncertainty is a particular threat when we fear being extinguished in some way. So for this meditation, I want to invite you to bring attention to the legs and the feet. And even if you're sitting cross-legged, visualizing your relationship between the feet and the earth. So grounding with your feet, feeling the solidity of the earth in your mind's eye, feeling, allowing yourself to be held by the earth. Rooting. Like these precious little daffodils that I cut yesterday. When rooted in the garden, they have the capacity to blow left, right, shifting towards the light while rooting into the earth. Feel your own capacity to root in this moment, perhaps rooting in your seat. Now visualize that your legs and feet, out of the bottoms of your feet, extend anchors. So we'll shift this image from earth to sea. So now you at the surface of the sea are releasing these anchors down through the water. So the ground is intentionally less solid. With these anchors released, dropped down to the ocean floor. Notice how this little boat sways. The swaying isn't just up at the surface. The swaying is through the water as well. This ocean has room for fish, sharks eating fish, plants, coral. Storms can come and go. Now release all of these images and notice, attend to your direct experience as I invite you to anchor in being. Anchor in presence. Anchor in awareness. Simply notice, does this awareness have any borders or edges? Does being have a boundary? Notice the preciousness of this experience of being. not a preciousness meaning breakable, fragile. More like the preciousness of one of these fresh cut flowers behind me. Anchor in that preciousness of being. While recognizing its infinite nature. Its limitless nature. As thoughts arise, perhaps resistance, perhaps anxiety, sadness, hope, worry. Simply see them floating through this infinite field of being. Plenty of room for them to swim through and be. Nothing you need to do or change or fix about any of it. You're simply resting in this open, borderless field of being, but again, you're anchored there. Awareness itself is not adrift. Your capacity to be here, now, aware is not uncertain. lost. You are here. Presence. Grounded in the preciousness of your infinite self. friends. Thank you. As you take a moment to stretch, take some deep breaths, and this is that moment where I get to invite you to remember everything it takes for these teachings to be offered. So a little plug again for heading down to that green button if you're able. As Jake mentioned, we really recognize and honor that now is not a time in which everyone can make a donation. It's actually in the name of equity and recognizing how our world is structured. There's never a time where everyone is able to make a donation. But in this time in particular, many are feeling tremendous financial strain. If you are able to contribute, please do. Especially if you are feeling able to contribute, please do so as generously as you can to support all those who truly can't. We're so in this together. So I love this next part of the call. I cherish getting to interact with you. So my favorite form of that is if you're willing to come on screen. Jake can make that happen, kind of magical. So Jake, maybe you could put in the sidebar again, just for those who are new to this platform. Yeah, just let us know here in the chat if you'd like to come on screen. So you just type into the chat if you'd like to have a comment or ask a question about practice, or just name an observation from the meditation. There's no wrong thing to bring up. If you're feeling shy about coming on screen, no problem. You can ask a question by heading down to, so you see the green button down below, it says ask a question. So you can type a question in there or comment. So yes, thanks for acknowledging some of you do have to head off to work. I understand that and I honor that. So thank you. So what are you present to? What are you noticing about the preciousness of being? There was a sense of peace and lightness in today's meditation. It's an important comment, actually. Thank you, Sakti. I hope I'm saying your name right. Sakti. It's beautiful if I'm saying it right. It's an important comment. That sense of peace and lightness is the way we articulate a direct experience of true nature. And when we're resting in being, we're touching, we're recognizing that true nature. The inherent nature of true nature is peace. That's its makeup. So you guys, I love this challenge this morning. Ingitvis, maybe Ingitvis. Also beautiful, but I'm sure I'm butchering it. But I appreciate you saying that you had a sense of connection and that you felt that peace and that lightness. Kiki, the meditation made you feel calm, reassured, and connected with everyone on the call today. It's a really important theme right now. Thank you. Alice, hello. Can you talk about faith or trust as it relates to uncertainty. Yes. I think it's important to ask ourselves, what is it that we're having faith in? What are we trusting? Often in this practice, we talk about trusting life, but what does that mean? It seems to me that what we're trusting is our direct experience, that peace is our true nature, that experience of being, the preciousness of being is innate, fundamental, and unbreakable. So shorthand could be, I have faith in myself. The reason I don't usually talk about it that way is because we live in a conditioned world that suggests that would, when we say myself, it can seem like I have, I trust my ego. For so many of us, when we say myself, we're actually not necessarily referencing that direct experience of true nature or infinite being. But at the heart of our experience, we all know ourselves as that infinite, limitless being. It's our most intimate experience of ourselves. So it seems to me that that's what we're trusting. That's what we have faith in. Ourselves, our true selves. The peace that can't be lost in uncertainty. The conditioned mind is the only thing that's threatened by what it calls uncertain. Remember, without that conditioned spin, like life's recognizing everything in life is uncertain. These daffodils I cut from the yard yesterday are not experiencing strain about whether the sun shines or whether it rains. The uncertainty of the weather isn't creating stress. Conditioned thought processes require, or the byproduct of those conditioned thought processes are the result. Stress is the result of that. That was a very clunky sentence, but I hope you're with me on that. Let me know in the chat box if you're not. I see there are 2 questions. Sandy, I have difficulty experiencing life rather than thinking about it. I'm not sure that I can really know the difference. Can you speak more about experiencing and what that really is? Sandy, thank you. This is really, really an important question. First, I would lovingly challenge you. Do you have difficulty experiencing life? Or does the conditioned mind consistently chat about its spin on your experience? So, for example, I spoke with someone recently who said, well, I can never picture things during, this was in one of our recent Wednesday night classes. Someone said, I can never picture things during a meditation that involves any guided imagery. And I confess, I've been doing much more guided imagery type meditations during this time. And I could talk more about that why later if that's interesting to anyone. So one of the things that I found us engaging about is that the person actually was imagining everything that was being suggested, but they were being told, oh, this isn't how it's supposed to be. It's other people are probably having a more colorful or vivid experience. So it's really important to just notice that, because in fact, the only thing we can have is direct experience. So Sandy, one question I would put forward to you right now is, are you aware right now, or are you aware of the sound of my voice? Are you aware of your breath? Are you aware of feeling the soles of your feet? Sandy, if you're there saying yes about that, you're having direct experience. You, awareness, are aware. We have direct experience, and then we think about it. And when I say we have direct experience, I could say this: awareness has direct experience, and then the conditioned mind has narrative about it. So awareness is aware, thought forms follow. So I have direct experience, and then there's commentary about the direct experience. So pay close attention, Sandy. That's your homework assignment. Pay close attention. Thank you. Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer Snyder. More an observation. I may have an opportunity to assist in the new emergency unhoused shelters in Portland. I'll hear today. I feel true gratitude and excitement that this worldwide news situation may allow me the opportunity to assist these precious souls with what I have to offer. This sense of anchoring is very timely and helpful to me as I move into this experience. Jennifer, thank you, and thank you for your service. When we're being of service, it's important that to the best of our ability, we can be in service from our deepest knowing. That's where generosity truly stems from, flows from. That's the means to which it's transmitted. So Jennifer, thank you, and thank you for your service. John, I think the virus has triggered an underlying fear of separation, of mortality, of weakness. Absolutely. John, that's specifically why I focused today on preciousness, which sometimes we might think of as like breakable, but actually the fundamentally unbreakable nature of the true preciousness of being. So John, what you're longing to tap into, I imagine, is that which is unbreakable within you. The recognition that you are infinite, pure consciousness, that you're not the fear. You're not that which experiences itself as weak. That in fact, this open presence, in the same way that I use the image of so much can exist in this open, vast ocean, this open presence has room for fear of separation, of weakness, fear of weakness. concern about breakability. So the practice, if you will, although it's somewhat of a non-practice, because what we're doing is we're returning to something that's fundamental and innate. We're not chasing after peace and practicing to get to peace. We're remembering something fundamental about our own nature. That nature is not separate. Somewhat like the other person's question, I believe it was Sandy, we think the activity of the mind that creates a sense of separation, that's happening up on the surface of the water. That's the activity of the conditioned mind. These flowers are not perceiving themselves as separate. My blessed fairy godson, Masi, doesn't experience himself as separate. He's not concerned about his death. He's excited about his capacity to move from crawling to walking. He's alive with his passion for being. So being can express itself freely through this baby. He's not yet 1 year old. There's nothing in the way of that being, that presence, just infinitely expressing its nature, whether it's through tears or whether it's through giggles or whether it's through repeating what his moms are doing, the sounds they're making. So that's our morning guidance. Be like Masi. Be like baby Masi. Find baby Masi in your own heart. He's within all of us. I'm sorry that it's 9 a.m. I truly am, because I do see that there are more questions, and I actually really appreciate that someone just wrote in, can you say more about the conditioned mind? I'm not familiar with that phrase. I definitely will tomorrow, so please come tomorrow. I thank you again. It just sort of kills me a little bit that I can't respond to the other questions there. So tomorrow, please come back. And I'm really happy to report that Jake and I, we're just having a good time. And we are going to do this again next week. So please tell your friends. It's really, if this can grow, it helps us justify the costs that it does take to put this on and the staff required to make these things happen. So thank you. I really, really appreciate your presence. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your commitment to practice. I believe the whole world benefits. So see you tomorrow. Thank you.